Hi everyone, my name is Maya Fortune from Tribeca New Music, and I'm here with Ben Nobuto, a composer and multi-instrumentalist and producer. And the Naked Eye Ensemble will be performing some of Ben's pieces on Wednesday, May 13th at 7 p.m. at the DiMenna Center. Thank you so much for being here. Could you tell me a little bit about yourself, how you became the artist you are today, sort of the path that you took?
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. I started out playing drums when I was 8. This is like right from the beginning. Yeah, I started out playing drums and then sort of like picked up piano a little bit later and then like did music through school and then university. I studied at Cambridge and then did a master's degree in composition there. And I think it was only like after I left university where I sort of started to figure out my identity as a musician. And like I had all these influences at the time, like electronic music and jazz and other kind of weird things, but I had quite a segregated view of them. Like I couldn't sort of incorporate those things into like the classical practice. Um, and I think as I've grown up, it's like I've realized, oh, you can just pour everything into this big, messy melting pot, and then it's more fun and honest. So yeah, and a lot of the time I combine electronics with live instruments. So um, like a yeah, there's like blends between different sound worlds I enjoy.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, continuing on that thread in your bio on your website, it's like you combine non-human and human elements. Why do you use the word human to explain like the combination of tech and classical or more traditional art forms?
I guess because like on a really basic level, that's what I'm interested in. Just like the amazing weirdness of seeing like humans like make things together, and when you have people in a room and the energy in that room of like all these people playing their instruments, and when you introduce a non-human element into the room, like an electronic sound, it like emphasizes the humanness to me. Because you have that really clear contrast. There's like a binary that you set up. So a lot of my music is about this like relationship or this tension between that like human and the non-human element, and um, like trying to find space for the humans to sorry, I keep saying humans, it sounds like a weirdo, but like finding space for the musicians to like feel human. Even though a lot of the time it's like my music is quite um precise and very fixed, and so they can feel sometimes a bit like robots, but it's like trying to find space for to breathe alongside that as well. Yeah.
I love that idea of like connecting or using technology to make us feel more human. The idea of humans being kind of robotic also reminds me of something that I read, which was that you have themes of attention and fragmentation. What do you mean by attention? And then fragments make me think maybe of the preciseness that you were speaking of before.
Yeah. So attention is well, attention is just attention, yeah. So what we choose to focus on. I don't know, I've been obsessed with that idea of like attention like for ages, and I guess it also relates to like social media and the way that our attentions are like funneled towards certain things. And um, you can't really achieve anything. You can't really do anything without like sustained attention on whatever you think you're doing, even if it's like cooking or like playing an instrument or whatever. And so yeah, I'm really interested in like when I write music, I'm constantly thinking about like where is the attention span of the listener right now? And like like 1 minute in, where is their attention span? Like, and then 5 minutes in, like where is their attention span now? And like I'm constantly trying to imagine um the experience of like really sort of being immersed in something and not like distracted, and what I can do to sort of like direct that attention. Um and then fragmentation is like linked to that because obviously, like, so fragments are like lots of broken up pieces of different things. And a lot of the time, maybe younger people can relate to that feeling of like your attention being fragmented. And it's rare to really focus on one thing for a sustained time in a day. You're just like constantly like checking emails or messages or whatever. Um, and that's sort of become like a default way of living now. And kind of, yeah, I'm interested in that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm living 15 different lives at some point in the day. I'm just like responding to three different emails to different people, and it feels
Yeah.
weird that my attention is so broken up in that regard. So do
Yeah.
you utilize that attention in the process when you're creating your pieces? How focused are you? Or are you doing three different things at once?
Oh, to actually make something, I feel like you have to be so focused. Yeah. Like turn my phone off and like just give myself time to like not just like block out the world, basically. I don't know if there's anyone who can actually make something in that like really attention fragmented space. I feel like it's impossible. Yeah, I use it a lot in like the structure of my music as well. So this kind of like oftentimes there's like a collage structure where it's like lots of different musical material that isn't related, that's sort of um chopped up and you know like all kind of like competing for your attention, all these little fragments. And I kind of imagine the listener as it's like almost like a task to try and figure your way through this environment and find the space of stillness or find out what's going on here. Um, as you're being bombarded by all this information. Yeah. Yeah.
That's super cool. Do you feel like the traditional forms of music that you've practiced growing up has kind of helped you with that sort of focus when you are creating new pieces now?
Hmm. I don't know. What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I mean, I play violin, and growing up, being able to sit in a room and practice and have that be your sole attention for a while, I think really contributed to my life in other aspects because I'm able to sit down on a project and really look at it. And just wondering if you felt a similar
Yeah.
way,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
like your
Yeah.
education impacted the way
Yeah, I
that
think
you were.
so. I think so. Um, I guess a lot of musicians are quite like interior people. Like I've always enjoyed just being alone and like working on things. And like, like that attention to detail and then
Yeah,
um sort of like kind of being able to retreat into your inner world and like the joy of like all of those ideas sort of like emerging in that process and uh yeah, I guess like playing an instrument, playing piano. Piano is quite a lonely instrument. So yeah, I feel like most pianists are kind of used to like spending a lot of time by themselves um and like composers often play piano because it's like a good way of like figuring out harmony and stuff. So those I guess those two things combine as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So shifting to Wednesday, May 13th, can you tell us a tiny bit about the three pieces that are going to be performed by Naked Eye Ensemble?
Yeah, so one of them is called Tell Me Again, and that is a piece for piano and electronics. And yeah, it's like what we were talking about in terms of fragmentation and collage. And so there are lots of different voices that you hear, um, and they're kind of being chopped up and fragments of sort of like meditation speakers and there are monks and metaverse engineers and YouTubers and um, there are these bells, like colorful bells that sit on the top of the piano. And the pianist is like pressing the bells each time a voice happens. And so I imagine they're like channels on a TV. It's like ding, and you hear a voice, and then ding, and it's another voice. And so as they're playing, it sort of becomes like they sort of turn into like a multitasking machine. They're just, constantly switching and it's about, yeah, sort of like trying to within that environment, trying to find space for stillness and um yeah, so that's Tell Me Again. And then there's a piece called Love Games, which is for an ensemble, and um, I used like an AI poem generator uh, and I just typed in the word love because it's like it asks for a prompt. And this was before ChatGPT. This was like a few years ago, and I found a really bad one. Like now it's way too good. You wouldn't be able to do this. But I found a really bad one, and it produced like this really bad basic poem that was like a 5-year-old child. Um, and all these just like random unrelated nouns like breathe, love, hug me, hold, love, breathe. And it's like repeated and like very choppy and I like the sound of that. And they're all mostly one syllable or two syllable words. So I just took that and then um used that as the basis of this piece. So everyone's like playing along to this like silly AI love poem. So that's Love Games. And then uh, there's one called Live at Leighton House, which is something I wrote in 2022 or something. I can't remember. But that's for piano and then like some winds and horns. And yeah, that's not really about anything. I kind of just I wrote it. I was playing piano for this gig and I got some friends in and some of them are jazz musicians, some of them are classical. And I just wrote it's like 25 minutes of music and with electronics and I have sometimes I have like a version of my music that's almost like my version of pop music and it's and it's like not really about there's no like concept or really sort of like important thesis or anything but it's like I just let the music go wherever it wants to go and um I call it adventure mode when I write music like that.
Cool. Okay.
It's just like the music's just, like in a game, it's just like adventure mode where you're just like going off and
Yeah, and
explore.
exploring the world.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
no goal or anything.
Right, right. It's just like you're just having fun and that's it. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
super interesting. Yeah, we don't have to have any genre. It's fine. Just adventure time. That sounds good to
Adventure
me.
time.
So something that we ask all of our composers that we interview is sort of what kind of advice do you have for people who want to make music?
Well, for me, it's a really simple one, but realizing that I can just write the music. I can write exactly the music I want to hear. And it sounds so obvious, but like I think as classical composers, because we're sort of like coming through this tradition that has so much baggage and history. And a lot of the time, our teachers are carrying lots of baggage and history, and the institutions that our music is being played in has lots of baggage and history. And it's like it's quite easy to be like swayed and pulled towards doing certain things, even if they don't feel honest to you. That's how I felt in the past. And so, like in university, I was like writing quite a lot of music that now, looking back, it doesn't really feel like me. But it was like what I felt like I should do to impress
Yeah.
people or to seem like a serious composer or something. And then
Right.
I think you're just like gradually realizing that, oh, actually, you can just like music can literally be anything. I think that's just such an amazing, simple but like amazing realization that like, oh, I can just like pull from here and here and here and all these like random things that obsess you that don't seem to obsess anyone else. I think that's quite cool as well. If you can find something that's like you have some like weird niche musical obsession. And then you're like, oh, what if I combined it with this thing over here? And like no one else seems to be doing that. And if you just do that, then it's like, I don't know. Yeah. The music just beams honesty. And I think like listeners can hear that. And um yeah. And I'd also say um I don't know, like in this day and age, like with social media and stuff, you can literally in terms of like how you like market your music, it sounds a bit like I don't know, gross, but um you can you literally can like create any kind of image or persona for your music you want to, like through social media or your website or like there's no need to like fit into this like fixed label of like I'm a composer and I do this and this and like you can be a performer and like collaborate with all these people and make beats and make orchestral music and I don't know, like yeah, I feel like young people we have that. We're already like immersed in so much stuff anyway in the culture that we grow up in. So feel it just feels right to kind of like get that across as much as possible, that like plurality of stuff, of styles and influences and everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing advice. Thank you. I mean, it makes me realize that I can just be whoever I want to be. Which is simple too, but it's true, and I think that music really allows you to be whoever you want to be at any stage of your life in any era you are in. So
Mm.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Anyways,
no.
yeah, thank you so much for being here. My name's Maya. I'm here with Ben, and come see Naked Eye Ensemble perform his pieces on May 13th at the DiMenna Center at 7 p.m.
Thank you.